Are you a fan of pro wrestling, comedy, and combat sports? Then we have the podcast for you, because we cover that and much, much more.
Do you like to debate with your friends? Do we have the perfect segment for you? It's the 531, where we take any given subject, break it down to a top 5. From there, we debate it down to 3, and then into that number 1 spot.
If you want to get a hold of us, find us on our social medias. Search Working Fans Podcast on any major social media platform. And if you want to find the podcast, search for us on any major podcast platform, as well as YouTube.
Working Fans Podcast. We put in the work so you don't have to.
Now, guys, welcome back to Working Fans Saturday, episode 62. And we got a special solo edition for you. The Man They Call Dave and AJ Strangebrew are indisposed today. So apparently producer Joe is brought to you by the Pro Wrestling Vault Volume 1, written by Vinnie Barry, 35 short stories across the wrestling landscape. Every book comes autographed by one of 11 wrestlers featured in it. This is a great book. It's available at lancebychance.com, because he is also the author of Lance by Chance, Wrestling is a Von Erich. Very interesting book. Now, another book we are brought to you by is Super Vows by friend of the show, Kevin Kelton, former Saturday Night Live writer, wrote for the National Lampoon, wrote for Night Court, Boy Meets World. And I also work with him on the More Perfect Union podcast. But we are brought to you by his book, Super Vows. Now, guys, today I'm going to be reviewing last Wednesday's Dynamite card. Sorry, I'm getting choked up. I never have to do this much talking at one time. And then I'm going to preview this weekend's GCW cards. But before that, I am going to play you a quick video brought to you by Kamoflage. We featured him on the Working Fans Musiccast, and I just really enjoyed this song, so this is one of the ones I chose. This is Heavy Hearts by Kamoflage.
I put my heart in this. Sorry if there's no left for you.
Cam, I made this beat in my form, steadily dreaming of touring. Finding your purpose is way more resourceful than making others feel important. This sort of lifestyle is hectic. I'm sorry that you've been neglected. I dealt with your baggage, you dealt with my habits. I think that we both should respect it. Skinny nigga, where the have you played? If it ain't money, I don't even wanna conversate. Fuck a good, then I meditate. Take a soul, watch it levitate. That's a buzz down, care back then, but I couldn't give a fuck now. Shorty wasn't with it back then, but they all done a ride, cause the nigga looking good and I'm up now. Fact check. Ooh, check the breakdown. I grew up with some people that never evolved and they had to get taken down. We grinded dirt into diamonds. They swore that this shit was impractical. We're the young D, we were tactical. Papa's lessons were invaluable. Yeah, word to Mammy, coming in hot and I spattered the landing. Still got my Pokemon cards on my Game Boy Color. I'm still rocking Black Panther jammies. Stuck to my roots. I'm faithful to all of my troops. I took a shot in the dark when everyone else was too scared to shoot.
I put my heart in this. I'm sorry if there's none left for you. These dreams are all I have. I'm sorry I can't conform for you. Settle for normal, that's okay. Please don't let me get in the way. If you love me, then you will lift me up, not bring me down.
Yeah, I wrote this floor on the toilet. Steadily dreaming of touring. Finding your passion is way more impactful than living a life full of boredom. That sort of lifestyle is dormant, of anything holding importance. If it ain't you that is painting your portrait, then baby, you're risking extortion. A lot of people want a part of you. They don't care about the heart of you. Young guy with an older mind. Since the old times of golden night. Me and the game got some history. The golden gun was the industry. Cause all you need is that one shot. But when and where to use it is the mystery. Never use cheat codes. A big head, just a big target. I'd rather shoot all of my free throws, even in perfect darkness. Rare cameo appearance, conquered all my regretfulness. Only some caught the reference, 64 more on the checklist. Used to want all this designer shit, then I started up my own brand. The value is never in question when you're doing the shit with your own hands. Is there a price on your dedication? What have you done for your preservation? Better wake up and go get it, cause dreams do not offer up reservations.
I put my heart in this. I'm sorry if there's not left for you. These dreams are all I have. I'm sorry I can't conform for you. Settle for normal, that's okay. Please don't let me get in the way. If you love me, then you will lift me up, not bring me down. I put my heart in this. These dreams are all I have for me. Settle for normal, that's okay. Please don't let me get in the way. If you love me, then you will lift me up, not bring me down.
Now, guys, that was Heavy Hearts by Kamoflage. Hope you enjoyed it. Trying to pad the show a little bit because it's going to be a little different doing a solo podcast. But first, I want to talk about Game Changer Wrestling is holding their Believe Me card tonight. And this is important because at the end of today's show, I will be playing an interview that the man they call Dave and I did with the S.A.Ts, the Maximo Brothers. You might remember them from the end of ECW, start of ROH, early TNA, early MLW, the innovators of the game today, but they will be wrestling on this card. Now, I got the cards off of lastwordonsports.com. Thank you very much for providing these. And Nick Gage will be addressing his future tonight. And could this be a retirement match? It's interesting because him and Matt Tremont will be defending the tag titles the next night. Tremont has previously retired and come back, so maybe not a bad way to go. We will have to see what he thinks will be in his future. I'm very interested in that. We have Matt Tremont versus Hoodfoot. Hoodfoot I first saw, I believe, on their Chicago show, and this guy is amazing. Big, bulky wrestler. Him versus Tremont is going to be a hoss battle, the type that we love in GCW. It's really going to fit that style. John Wayne Murdoch versus Raver. This is going to be amazing. This has a chance of being match of the night, and there's already like 3 or 4 matches on this card that hold that distinction as well. Atticus Kogar versus Billy Starks. That's going to be a very interesting match. If you're not familiar with Kogar, very good heel in the GCW system and always puts on a good match. Now, the next match I have on the card here, the one I'm probably most interested in, and for that matter, it's going to have some of the biggest buzz because newly signed AEW talent Nick Wayne, who's got that contract pending, is taking on Jordan Oliver. This is a big match because he has previously been tagging with Jordan Oliver, and to see them compete in the ring, they're both lankier guys. I mean, Nick Wayne looks like what Jordan Oliver looked like 3-4 years ago. So it's going to be kind of that veteran teaching the student. I'm interested in that. Blake Christian versus Jimmy Lloyd. This is a good matchup between 2 of the bigger names in GCW here. Following this, I've got the Briscoes and the S.A.T. You're going to hear from the S.A.T. later in this show how excited they are and how much they know about wrestling. So they're taking on the Briscoes here. They're going to be taking on the Briscoes for big-time wrestling in Webster, Mass. And the winner of that match is going to go on to take on the Hardys. Now, following that, I've got Mascara Dorado versus Joey Janella. Joey wrestled Dr. Wagner Jr. in one of their last events. He's been getting a lot of these almost lucha veterans or bigger names in the lucha game. So we haven't been seeing Joey as much on AEW, so it's going to be good to see him here. Now we have a big 6-man tag match with Second Gear Crew featuring the one they call Manders, Matthew Justice, AJ Gray, and Effie. Oh, it's an 8-man tag, gotta count. Versus Gringo Loco, Jack Cartwheel, Ninja Mac, and ASF. If you know GCW, this would probably be a scramble match if it wasn't an 8-man tag. There's going to be bodies everywhere. It's going to be a sight to see. And the last thing I have on my card here, GCW Ultraviolent Championship, Alex Colon versus one half of the team, the Rejects, that's challenging for the tag tournament or the tag titles tomorrow, Reed Bentley. Alex Colon is the blood fighter, big GCW guy. This whole card is amazing. I do Unscripted Violence with Stagger Lee, and we regularly talk AEW, but we are also starting to cover GCW shows. We will be doing a review of both cards, but when I thought he was just going to get one card, I recommended him to get this one. Now, I'm going to quickly review Sunday night's Don't Tell Me What to Do card for GCW, held at the same arena. And we're going to play one more video after that, Dale Paca from Kamoflage, before we get into the Dynamite review. I know I sound different, Randy, because my voice is going. And I'm also on. Thank you for pointing that out, Randy. My
webcam was actually picking up the audio, and that's what happens when I'm on my own here and I don't have the other guys to bounce off of. So I thought you were going to talk about my voice because it's definitely going, because I got to get a sip of water or something. But before I do that, I want to talk about GCW's Don't Tell Me What to Do show. This is going to be Sunday at 5 p.m. It's available on Fight, just like the other card. And the first match I have on my card here, also from lastwordonsports.com, Too Cold Scorpio versus Gringo Loco. Gringo Loco, resident lucha guy in GCW, can do some amazing things. Thank you, Randy. You saved the show audio there. But Gringo Loco can do some amazing things. Too Cold Scorpio has had a great run in GCW lately, and I've been very excited by it. And tonight we're getting to see him versus Gringo, so we're going to see some things out of these two. And it's what I like when GCW does these 2-night cards. They'll put something on each card that you want to see. Now, the next match, Alec Zane versus Atticus Cogar. Randy, so you don't know, AJ Strangebrew had something come up at work, so he won't be here today. And then Dave has another friend in the bread business that was actually needing help today. And I told him to just go do that because I'm like, I can handle this. I actually have Elimination Chamber on the iPad to my left. So that's what I'm watching right now. Or I'm kind of watching it out of the corner of my eye. But going back to this card, Alec Zane versus Atticus Cogar. Alec Zane has been huge since his return from WWE. And like I said, for the last card, Atticus Cogar, great heel. So this is going to be a great matchup, very athletic. I think we're going to see the skewers. Following this, I got Drago Kid versus ASF, which is weird because I also have Blake Christian versus ASF. I should have read these cards better. But either way, going to be a great match, whether it's ASF, I should say, great high flyer. Blake Christian, another one that's huge, coming off. Oh, it's all right, Randy. Last Saturday, God, I can't even remember what we did. The week's flown by. I had a busy week at work and then catching up on all this wrestling. And I mean, even today, we've got the GCW card tonight. We got the GCW card tomorrow night. We have an Impact pay-per-view tonight.
We've got this WWE pay-per-view or premium live event right now. So there's a lot going on. But getting to the next actual match on the card, Jordan Oliver versus Alec Price. Alec Price is a guy I've seen at Beyond up here, young up-and-comer. Not as impressed with him, but if you give a young guy to Jordan Oliver in the ring, that is cool to see because he's almost becoming like the young veteran leading people. There is so much wrestling today, and it's a shame because if AJ were here, he would be able to talk about it. Check us out on TikTok if nobody's checked us out. Working Fans Podcast. Been doing some live videos. AJ will give you previews and reviews. The next match I have, though, is Joey Janella and Marco Stunt versus Second Gear Crew of AJ Gray and Matthew Justice. Second Gear Crew is going to run through them, going to destroy them. Going to be an interesting match. But this match has two big matches ending it. You got the GCW Ultraviolent Championship, Alex Colon, the Blood Fighter, versus Oren Veidt. This is going to be a hell of a bloodbath. It's going to be extreme. This is going to live up to what GCW is. Yeah, Jordan from MLW. And I said for the card tonight, because he's taking on Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne now looks like what Jordan Oliver looked like in MLW. And the match that is main eventing this card for the GCW Tag Championships, the Hate Club of Nick Gage and Matt Tremont versus the Rejects of John Wayne Murdoch and Reed Bentley. John Wayne Murdoch has been a huge heel since recently in GCW, and I think him taking the tag titles off Gage and Tremont, it would allow those two to retire, give Reed Bentley and John Wayne Murdoch more heat, and then, you know, that'll be kind of where they go going forward, I think. Now, guys, I'm going to give my voice a chance to rest, and before we get to the discussion about Wednesday night's Dynamite, currently on the Elimination Chamber, Ronda Rousey is having one arm tied behind her back, and with Sonya Deville's arm in a sling. That is very interesting. But like I said, before I get to this Dynamite preview, here is Dale Paka, also from Kamoflage, and this song is off his album, The Fog.
Dime lo que quieres. No me dejas con las ganas, dale, propongo a comerte de todo. Dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, ven pa' mi casa, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, ven pa' mi cama, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, ven pa' mi casa, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, ven pa' mi cama. Dale pa' atrás, toma, dale pa' acá, ven pa' mi casa, I ain't with the gossip, it's cool Cam, I got this, I ain't with the nonsense, hitting in the drop list, misses doing shit that's different, yeah, I'm finna spit once I just hit this like I'm missing, she be on the dick, I be coming through so intermittent, on a mission, last night, new position, lights out, submission, always heavy in the streets, cause you know they coming if you're showing weakness, yeah, I'm bugging in the sheets, cause I like it when she comfortable and freaky, do not play with me, cause I'm flagrant, I'm 10 levels deep, I'll inflate the fee, so don't fuck with me, I'm up in your crib like Sosa told me, so get about your feelings, go and live the best life you can live, I'ma sip till I'm feeling right, get it, yeah, I'm finna, I'ma pull up to the crib like, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, ven pa' mi casa, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, ven pa' mi cama, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, ven pa' mi casa, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, ven pa' mi cama, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, ven pa' mi casa, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, ven pa' mi cama. Ooh, vibe on the beat, her body come alive on the beat, never lie on the beat. She just wanna slide for the week, get wild in the sheets, girl, tell her come and ride on the free. Ooh, watch how I do, is it the shoes? Look how she moving, ooh baby what you doing? Club go up on a Monday, bad chick straight off the runway, she a freak on the weekend, but she at church on a Sunday. Wow. Switch up the tempo, she loving the dembo, yeah, poppin' the band, oh you
bullshit. Go ahead and wear it if the shoe fits. Shorty working for the peso. She bust it open like Domi on Verso. Young and educated, I'm steadily cheddar caking. And shorty be getting wild. I give her the medication, I'm a real one. Tell your old man, you're a real one. You don't know about the thigh man till you feel one. Forget about your feelings. Gon' live the best life you can live. I'ma sip till I'm feeling right. Get it? Yeah, I'm finna pull up to the crib like dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá. Ven pa' mi casa, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá. Ven pa' mi cama, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá. Ven pa' mi casa, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá. Ven pa' mi cama y dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá. Ven pa' mi casa y dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá. Ven pa' mi cama, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá. Ven pa' mi casa, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá, dale pa' acá. Ven pa' mi cama.
Now, thanks for listening to that, guys. Once again, that was Dale Paca by Kamoflage. And it is crazy Nick Wayne got an AEW contract because just this week, Cody left AEW. And I think that's one of the things that's made Elimination Chamber more interesting for some people, seeing if Cody will show up. And I mean, it was really interesting for Dynamite. It made Dynamite must see this week. One of the reasons being, would Cody be there or wouldn't he? And the show starts off with CM Punk in the ring, kind of recapping. He speaks of his nostalgia, and then he starts speaking to and about Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Announces that Revolution will be the place where their match happens. And then as he goes on, explains that he's going to make it a dog collar match. So we have a dog collar match set for Revolution. That's only like 3 weeks away. What do you think of Cody leaving AEW? It's a very interesting situation because up until this, we would have thought everything was good with the guys. We would have thought they got along. And I think it started with the reality show where different sites like Post, and I mean, you could even, they were reporting friction, and you can not reporting friction, but that's kind of the vibe I got from it because there were certain guys featured on the show, certain guys not featured on the show. And of the things that AEW did, that was one of the more WWE like. Now, Cody came up in that sports entertainment style, so it would make sense that he would go back there being the bigger star that he is now. It's going to be, where do they slot him? Now, getting back to the Punk in ring promo, you know, he set the dog collar match. I think it was interesting because MJF has compared himself to Piper in Portland so many times. I'm not as hyped for a dog collar match. If Brody Lee hadn't done that last amazing one, I think I would be bigger for this. CM Punk in a dog collar match, yes, it's something, but I don't know. I feel like that Brody Lee dog collar match was just so much bigger. Now, this went to them previewing tonight's card. There's a lot of great matches on here. Speaking of great matches, they go to a video package for the Danielson and Moriarty fight. Really kind of catches you up good with everything going into it. And this was probably one of the matches I was most excited for on the night. This was followed by Jurassic Express backstage with Shivani. Nothing big. We got double entendre from Jungle Boy. That was probably the biggest thing. You think it might be a letdown? Most likely it will be, but I kind of want to wait to see. I mean, do they debut him in Saudi Arabia? Does he debut at WrestleMania? Does he debut at Elimination Chamber somewhere to be featured in WrestleMania? Maybe they hold him off till Monday. I think that's
it's got a lot of buzz going right now, and it makes it interesting, kind of. Now, following the Jurassic Express backstage, we got our first match of the night, Bryan Danielson versus Lee Moriarty. I was looking forward to this match. I think it lived up to what I was hoping for here. Sorry, I got to take a drink with the whistle. Started as a good grappling match. Great stylistic matchup. Daniel Bryan called out Lee Moriarty a couple weeks ago, so respecting his in-ring style and wanting to wrestle with him fits. And Bryan Danielson won this thing in 12 minutes, 14 seconds, and it flew by for me. I really enjoyed it as the first real match of the night. See, AEW can give you 15, 20 minutes of promos up top, and it's not a problem. I would have taken this match up front, but where it was great. Now, after the match, we had Bryan Danielson give kind of an in-ring promo, calling out Moxley. He's really good at showing that good heel attitude. Moxley comes out, and I don't know if he's going to join him or if he's going to fight with him. Oh, Randy, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. Yeah, the dog collar match, it's going to be a letdown, but it's probably a lifelong dream for MJF to wrestle in a dog collar match with Punk. So, I mean, that'll be a big thing. Now, following that, there was a Keith Lee video promo. Excited for Keith Lee in AEW. I thought he had a great debut last week. They've got a lot of big guys in this Face of the Revolution ladder match. So that's going to be something that's going to be interesting to see how they pull that off at Revolution. Speaking of the Face of the Revolution ladder match, Wardlow versus Max Caster. This was a qualifying match. It went 5 minutes, 18 seconds. I think it's pretty obvious Wardlow was going to win. Caster's good with the wraps. He's good in ring. The Revolution card is looking good. It is, Randy. And, with Wardlow winning, that just set up another big beefy guy in this match. And is this going to be a Hoss ladder match, which is something I don't think we've seen? And do they bring in somebody big to help them out with it? We will have to see. Now, following this, Mercedes Martinez is backstage with Britt Baker, Rebel, Jamie Hayter, and Shivani. And this did a couple things. It's setting up the tension between Martinez as a hired gun and Britt Baker. Britt Baker brings in Martin Cove to introduce him for later. And, I mean, you're just seeing the faction that is Baker, Rebel, Hayter. This was followed by an Adam Page in-ring promo, Tony Schiavone, which Adam Cole interrupted, and in the end ended up really attacking Adam Page, setting up a title match for Revolution. O'Reilly and Fish come in to assist, and Dark Order chases them off. It was good enough segment for what they're setting up. Are you excited for Adam Page versus Adam Cole at Revolution? Following this was a video promo for the Darby Sammy match, and Darby and Sammy are going to give you an amazing card no matter where they are. And I was happy to, I'm happy to see these video packages. They do them well, and there's one especially later in the show that's amazing. This match was followed by Jericho and Hager versus Santana and Ortiz. This is really kind of looks like the breaking point for Santana and Ortiz, where they're going to split from Inner Circle. And they've been doing their entrances separate. They've been getting their own theme songs. So I've really enjoyed that. It's been weird, Jericho questioning their friendship with Kingston when they've made it clear that he helped them out in the Indies. And I think it's almost like in life where the people you've come up with the longest, you have the more loyalty to. And at the start of this match, Eddie Kingston came out to support Santana and Ortiz. I really like the Liquid Sword shirt he was wearing, but this was a good enough in-ring match. Santana and Ortiz pick up the win, and I really hope they continue on this path. They deserve to be tag champions, and it's going to be interesting to see where they go from here. This was followed by Adam Cole, the Bucks, Red Dragon backstage. Adam Cole starts talking about his match with 10 on Rampage. And then the Bucks and Red Dragon start bickering back and forth because we've got the tag team title battle royales coming up. And then after they bicker and leave both ways, you kind of see Adam Cole question who he's going to follow. Brandon behind the cameras says what all of us were thinking in our head and really push that along in an interesting way. This was followed by the Mercedes Martinez and Thunder Rosa no DQ match. This was, I think, my match of the night. I almost would have to give it to it. Moriarty and Danielson was good, but this was great. There was mention of Martin Cove from Cobra Kai in the beginning. There was a hard-hitting start to this match. Thunder Rosa came out in some awesome Kill Bill-inspired gear. And hard-hitting match back and forth. There was one nasty spot where there was a suplex onto a table, and the table didn't break, so they both kind of just slid down onto their necks, and it looked rough. But near the end of the match, Baker comes out, talks to Cove, then her, Rebel, and Jamie Hayter triple team Rosa, and really kind of pushing that Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker match that we are finally getting at Revolution. And it's amazing how Britt Baker has grown with this company, going from a relatively inexperienced female wrestler, always getting compared to her boyfriend. And now she's really standing out as the face of the division. I think she's going to lose the title to Rosa at Revolutions, but it will be interesting to see where this goes. Now, after this match, we got a House of Black video promo, which was amazing. And it went into a preview for next week. Now, next week's Dynamite is going to be in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And the man they call Dave and I will be there live. So you'll be seeing TikTok videos from there. You'll be seeing that pop up on Instagram. And we'll be able to give you our impression of everything from being at the show. Now, things they announced for that are the Kings of the Black Throne versus Penta El Cierro Miedo and Pac. Going to be an excellent match, high flying. I'm pumped to see this live. Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho in-ring promo. Not especially, thank you, Randy. Not especially pumped for this, but Eddie Kingston, anytime you give him a mic, is going to be good. So him versus Chris Jericho, it's going to be interesting. We're going to get the Jericho song live. I'm just excited to see an AEW card, so I don't want to shit on too much of it. We got the first of 2 tag team battle royales leading towards Revolution, and Madcap Moss is coming out. So anybody currently watching Elimination Chamber, I'm sorry. Now, this was followed by a Jay White video promo. Interesting, kind of pumping up his match for Rampage. Jay White, he has cooled off significantly since New Japan. He's been picking up some steam. He's been doing appearances in Impact, appearing here. I'm a Jay White fan, so I want to get back into the character, and I'm hoping that his run in AEW can help with that. Now they preview Rampage, and then we go into the main event of the night, Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin for the TNT Championship. During this match, they mentioned that the Owen Hart tournament is going to be kicking off May 11th. I'm very excited to see how that goes and how that ends up, because AEW partnering with the Owen Hart Foundation is huge, and being able to honor him, I'm very excited for that tournament. Now, as far as Sammy and Darby, they are always going to give you a good match. They've done it on the indies. They did it here again. Sammy won in 1451, and frankly, it was everything I could have hoped for in a match with them. So that was Dynamite this week. If you want to get more of my thoughts on it, check out Unscripted Violence with Stagger Lee. That'll probably come out Monday. I see he's messaging me now, and we will set up a time. Now, before I get to this next interview, the man they call Dave and I were very excited to do this. It was another person off of our wish list, and they're going to be wrestling tonight on the GCW card. So I'm going to play a Buzz feature intro, and then I'm going to get into our interview with the S.A.T. Maximo Brothers.
Welcome back to the Working Fans Podcast, episode 134. We have a very special guest. If these guys, Joel and Jose Maximo, did not do what they did in the wrestling business, the style that is all across the wrestling business now would not happen. We are here to talk to the godfathers of the modern style, and we cannot wait to bring it to you after this intro video.
Are you a fan of pro wrestling, comedy, and combat sports? Then we have the podcast for you, because we cover that and much, much more.
Do you like to debate with your friends? Do we have the perfect segment for you? It's the 531, where we take any given subject, break it down to a top 5. From there, we debate it down to 3, and then into that number 1 spot.
If you want to get a hold of us, find us on our social medias. Search Working Fans Podcast on any major social media platform. And if you want to find the podcast, search for us on any major podcast platform, as well as YouTube.
Working Fans Podcast. We put in the work so you don't have to.
Guys, as always, we are brought to you by the Pro Wrestling Vault, 35 stories from across the wrestling landscape, written by Vinnie Barry, available at WrestleVille.com and LanceByChance.com. Vinnie Barry also wrote Lance by Chance, Wrestling is a Von Erich, available at LanceByChance.com. You know, we're brought to you by Graham, by AO Money Meach, available anywhere music is. And guys, honestly, I'm rushing through these reads right now because I'm very excited to bring in our guest. First, we'll bring in the man they call Dave. And next, the guy who is currently communicating with his brother because we had some minor technical issues, the great Jose Maximo. Jose, how are you doing today, brother?
I'm good, brother. How you doing? How you guys doing? I'm actually texting him right now.
We are so excited for this interview. And I mean, like I said, the style that is so popular now would not be around if you guys didn't break that ground years ago. And I know Dave has some questions, so I don't want to hold him back.
Yeah, I mean, so you guys set the style, but like, who influenced you? You guys were obviously fans. Who were the guys you looked at?
I mean, for me, I mean, we had a variety of guys. We watched a lot of Japan stuff, early 90s, you know. One of my favorite wrestlers of all time was, I have a top 3, big 3. For me was Jushin Thunder Liger. Big, huge mark. Like if I saw him today, I'll probably hug him. I loved Hayabusa and Owen Hart, believe it or not. I loved Owen, bro. In Japan days, he's the man. And my brother was Dick Togo, Shawn Michaels, and Eddie Guerrero. He was a huge fan.
That's great shit. That explains why you guys have a unique style. You were into a lot of different stuff there.
A lot of different stuff. We always wanted to mix it up.
Now, what was it like when you guys started? Because now Japanese wrestling is everywhere. Like, anybody can watch All Japan, Noah, New Japan.
It's crazy.
But you guys, you had to be like on the underground really getting that stuff. And we hear a lot about the 90s, how that Japanese influence came over. MVP talks about it.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of wrestlers influenced by those tapes.
Absolutely. I mean, it was it's back then when we were coming up, it was if you got to Japan, you did it. That's it. That was the gig. You as a wrestler here independently, if you got to Japan, that's it. That's the big stage for most guys. That was the accomplishment over anything else. I mean, a lot of guys obviously want to get signed to WWE and whatever else, but for us specifically was doing tours out there, and we got to live it out, man. It was freaking awesome. We used to acquire tape somehow. I had a friend, Chris Devine, huge mark of Japanese wrestling. He was the guy who actually got us really to start wrestling. Yeah, got us into wrestling when we were younger. I mean, we all grew up together. Chris Devine, Brian Excel, Red's our cousin, so we grew up in the same households. And Joel, I've known them since we were like 8 years old, 7 years old. Chris Devine and Quiet Storm, we met him for the first time when he was 14. I was 15 or 14. Yeah, we were about the same age actually. And that was in the wrestling ring in Brooklyn in an abandoned freaking church. And all we ever did was look at Japanese tapes, Mexican tapes. And for a year there, before we started training with Mikey, we were trained by Super Aguila from Mexico. He was there at the time from AAA or CMLL, and he was training us how to do lucha. So all we knew in the beginning was just lucha libre. We didn't even know how to do American style wrestling yet. It was weird. It was a weird transition because we started to do lucha, and then eventually that's when we started to train with Mikey at the Hustle Hardcore, HWA at the time. Mikey Whipwreck, that's when he took us on his tutelage, and he taught us how to actually wrestle, how to run, how to use footing, cut the ring off, all the basics and all the great things that we do now that we learned because we were just like lucha, 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 lucha. He was like, "Oh, slow down, relax, learn how to wrestle first."
And that must be why your guys' style is so exciting, because if you don't start with American wrestling, if you're starting with lucha, you're already starting with the high flying, the acrobatics.
Yeah.
And then if you're influenced by Japan, Japan and Mexico really seem to go hand in hand with a lot of exciting wrestlers.
Yeah, it's crazy because you can mix it up. I mean, for me personally, Japanese wrestling, and you guys know, I mean, Kenta Kobashi.
Right.
I'm a freaking mark of him. It was all Japan days, New Japan days, Pro Wrestling Noah, you name it. Like we watched it all from what was it? Michinoku Pro. We're talking Michinoku. Great Joel used to love Dick Togo. That's his idol, his hero. He broke his ankle at the Manhattan Center with the Spanish
That's another
flag.
story.
That's a whole different story. But that's one of those things. We were marks of all kinds of wrestling, bro. So I mean, we still students of the art. We love to watch and learn and see how the guys. But the thing that we're sticklers for is not to do what they did. Just do our own shit, make up our own moves, make up our own things, leave a stamp. That's what we were aiming, and look, it's turning out to be all right.
Yeah, I mean, quite a comeback. We'll get to that, but I mean, you guys, you're training with like Mike Awesome and Mikey Whipwreck. I mean, these ECW standouts. And then
the Mike Awesome thing. I don't know how that rumor. Mike Awesome was a great friend. Mike Awesome was fantastic. We shared locker rooms with him up and down the East Coast, but we never trained with Mike Awesome ever.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we've gotten beat up by Chris Chetty and Taz and Mikey Whipwreck beat the shit out of us, but that's it. That's it. Actually, not even Taz. It's just Chris Chetty and Mikey Whipwreck. Well, Chris Chetty just used to come by and whoop our ass every now and then. And Roadkill, which just passed by, we were terrified. But other than that, it was Mikey Whipwreck. It was our only and sole trainer besides Super Aguila that we trained with for a year.
Now, what was it like training with Mikey Whipwreck?
At first, it was. I think, and if anybody else goes through the training we went through, they'll quit wrestling. I'm not even kidding. I guess, since we were the last guys there at the ECW House of Hardcore, I guess they had a thing, to see if they could break us. Almost did a couple of times. We stood in front of the building, and me and my brothers would be talking like, "Damn, should we go in? Should we even go in there today?" And they'll just make an example. Like, for example, one time, Chris Chetty, I love you, bro, but it has to be said. One time, we were training. Chris Chetty came in and he was mad at something. Something wasn't going to happen at the ECW pay-per-view that Friday, and he slammed his phone against the wall. You remember that, Jose?
Yeah.
And then he started whipping you off and clotheslining you. Remember?
Yep.
So my brother's lips just started gushing blood. Then I'm in the corner holding on really tight. I'm a student, and you know these guys are superstars, and I can't say shit because I'm next. And but I held that, man. I held that in, like, oh man, one day we're gonna get in the ring. I'm gonna pay you back for what you did to my brother, you know. And we got to wrestle him plenty of times, and he kicked our ass anyways.
Yeah.
But it was hard. It was hard. They used to make us build the ring, build the ring, put it in the truck for the ECW shows, then take the shitty ring, put it back, and then go home, not even train. Then come back the next day. We'll do like how long we'll do that, an hour and a half of squats and climbing chairs.
Yeah,
like,
Mikey had a specific program. It would break you.
It was like 3 hours before we even hit the ring. And
I think we didn't touch the ring for 3 months. Like, legit. Training with him was probably the best wrestling experience of my life. Like, he's the man. Mikey Whipwreck, I'm telling you, he's the GOAT. He's the man. In my eyes, he's one of the best wrestlers of all time. One of the most underrated wrestlers of all time. I think he should go on every Hall of Fame and be praised. You know what I mean? He's the man.
Well, I imagine he's got to be in that next indie wrestling Hall of Fame class when that comes around next year.
Joe, he has to, Joe, because if you look at TV from anywhere from AEW to NXT, you see all of Mikey's students. Zack Ryder, us, Red, the whole half of the whole what are they called, the scary guys from AEW?
Oh, the Dark Order.
Yeah, half of them are Mikey students.
Yeah, right.
John Silver, Alex Reynolds, the list goes on, bro. What's their names? The ones that rap.
Max the Acclaim, Max Caster, and Anthony Bowen.
Yeah, I also came out of that same line of Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, which are Mikey students, you know? So it's just spread out. Mikey Whipwreck students are all over wrestling.
Wow, so you guys are part of like an elite alumni of just...
We were the first 5.
We're the first.
Bro, there was like 16 students that went to his school. And it's us 6 lasted at the end. It was Chris Devine, me, Red, Quiet Storm, and Brian Excel and Joel.
That's it.
Oh, and Shane.
Yeah, Wayne. Shane, he's the owner of NYWC.
That's it. Everyone else started to drop, and that's it. We were the last.
I wanted to be one of those. I wanted to drop a couple of times, bro. I was always the heaviest, so he'll pick on me the most. Like, heavy, come here, heavy, come here. I was fucking being fat, man.
But I mean, look at it. You guys were able to survive that, and now you're on this current, like, I almost don't want to call it a comeback run, but like you guys are coming back harder than ever, showing these young guys where the style is coming from.
Thank you, bro.
That's the hope, man. We're hoping to freaking do new stuff now. We're crazy. We're retarded like that.
That makes it even more exciting. Like, these guys are deep in the game. They don't have anything they have to prove, yet they want to go out there
what brought
they
you guys
want to
back?
innovate.
Well, before my brother, Mike Verna. You ever heard of him? Mike Verna?
Yeah.
We had him on the show actually a few years ago. Yep.
He's my student.
Okay.
He kept asking me and telling me, "Yo, come back, get your brother, get back." And then Gringo Loco started hitting me up, and he's like, "Bro, listen, GCW's on fire. You guys got to come back."
You got me excited for the World on Lucha now. You guys got to be on that card, Collective Weekend.
What?
Oh man, Collective Weekend. Is that WrestleMania weekend?
That is.
Nah, man, we booked up down here.
Ooh.
Yeah, we booked up down here. We have I can't say right now.
That's all right.
Don't worry about it. We'll be glued to the computers to see.
That Friday the 1st, we wrestling some old school cats from Special K and somebody that they're bringing in from Mexico, which is cool. And then that Saturday, we're wrestling a Mexican and 2 other guys called Zoltan for Guts and Glory Wrestling is called.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that before you guys went on the air. You guys are popping up on all kinds of different promotions now. Like, any old school fans are like, I haven't been able to stop talking to Dave about this because like I said, I
That's
first
awesome.
became like familiar with you guys on MLW, the original run.
Jeez, yeah.
What was that first run like? And I was saying, your guys' promos always popped me. It looked like you were having fun. And it was just anytime you guys were in the ring, I'm like, I have to see this match.
That's awesome.
MLW was one of our biggest runs because Corbauer really believed in what we were doing, so he was like giving us all the talent he could, so we could wrestle and to prove ourselves. At that time, we were very young and stupid, so anything that they gave us to do, I'll do. But as far as MLW, I think they're a great company. I had a lot of fun there. I want to go back. Nobody ever gave us title runs, Dave and Joe, because this is what promoters always said to the S.A.T. You guys are over, you don't need belts. But champions are what people talk about all the time, So this time around, we want to turn the tide, We're gonna collect every single damn strap that we could see.
Yeah, because it feels good for people to tell you you're over enough, you don't need a title, but then the performer in you knows you're a champion. You know what you guys can go out and do.
100%.
So it's like, give us what we're due. Like, don't tell us we're too good for it. Give us what we need.
100%.
At that time, we will speak like that, and then it'll be to the back burner. That's how it was. This time around, wrestling's changed, and now it's like people are really doing the research, and people are respecting the fact of that wrestling is a craft and is an art, and what we do is not easy at all. And fans and podcasts like your podcast is what drove us back. Like, I want to be a part of this generation. I created half of it. I want to be a part of it. I want me and my brothers to go out there and do what we could at this age. This is probably my last run. My younger brother is in it now. Will, he has years to go, and he's amazing in the ring. Wait until you guys see him. So
nice. And I imagine being able to put on your younger brother's got to feel good too. Welcoming him in and just getting to do it as a family.
It's funny because when he first broke in, Jose has stepped out, but they look alike. So Will when
exactly alike. He's like a twin.
Will went with me to WWC Puerto Rico, Carlos Colon's company, and it was like 2009. And the owner came in and he was like, "Oh, what's up, Jay? That's my son." And then the owner comes in. I mean, the booker, which is y'all know him, right? The Invader.
Yeah. Oh
yeah. Everybody knows him. The Invader comes in and he's like, "Oh, Joel and Jose, you guys take the titles today." I stood quiet. So me and Will went out there. We won the belts, and we come to the back. Everybody's celebrating, and we're like, "Cool." And then he's like, "That's not Jose." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's my brother. It's Will." But he's like, "You guys said it was Jose the whole entire time. I've been telling them." They flew him in as Will Maximo, Will Maximo, the whole thing. And then at the end of the show, he's like, "You're not Jose," and I'm like, "That's still my brother. It's Will." They look just alike, bro. It's crazy. It's funny.
And that's a scary guy to get mad in the locker room too. Like,
don't go to the shower.
Wow.
We'll do all our business in front of people. But what was it like to wrestle in Puerto Rico? Because you've heard how wild the fans are.
Bro, the first time we did a tour, right? We did it was WWC, same thing, right?
Yeah. No. It was
ICW?
IWA
for
when
Savio Vega.
Yeah.
IWA was huge.
Savio and
Victor Quiñones.
Victor Quiñones, yeah.
So we were wrestling, but we were the heels because we're from New York. So they were like, just shit on the fans and blah, blah, blah. One night, we were at an arena. It's freaking packed. They pack house every single night. It's ridiculous. Like 8,000, 10,000 people every single night. So we were at this arena, and I'm standing, and I'm healing the fans in Spanish, talking the shit, da-da-da-da. And I'm telling these people, come down, come and fight. If you're mad enough, come and fight. The guy starts coming. He must have been like 6'4", the biggest Puerto Rican I've ever seen. He's running down the bleachers full speed. So I'm like, all right, cool. I look at the security guard, like, get in front of him. Security guard disappears.
Yeah.
He wants me to fight the guy. I run to the back. I'm like, dude, what's going on? The freaking fans are gonna come out here. They're throwing battery acid at us.
Battery.
Beers. They're crazy out there. They believe it's not a work. It's real. It's crazy in Puerto Rico. That's what's awesome about wrestling there. Even the heels and babyface don't come out of the same curtain. It's crazy. You know what I mean? Like you can't even share locker rooms. We used to have to split locker rooms.
Yeah.
You know, so you better know your shit because
when
you go to the ring, that's the first time you see your guy.
Yeah, we were in Puerto Rico saying that we hated being Puerto Rican.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what we left.
So they were calling us sellouts. They were
left.
calling us all types of fucking crazy names. It was crazy, man. I'm sorry.
It was a good time.
It was just insane. But that Puerto Rico was scary. It was scary. It was the whole thing. The whole thing was shady. It was crazy. It was like if you get out of line, they'll stab you. You know?
Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane. Yeah. Japan has always been my favorite place to wrestle in. The whole thing. All those 9 years we spent out there was crazy. It was
Japan was amazing.
Now, how did you guys get to Japan? Was that through Victor Quinones?
No, it was through Ring of Honor.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It was I believe it was their second show. We wrestled the His Squad and the Special K, and we made up the Tower of Doom thing. You remember that?
Oh,
So it's
yeah.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Powerbomb, suplex. So I was calling that shit out in the back, and His Squad was like, wait. So we powerbomb everybody, and we're like, yeah, let's do that. Once we did it, Nakamura was in the audience, and he was like, who thought of that? Blah blah blah. We were talking nuts, and then he was like, I want you guys in Japan, man. 2000
and Steve Carino was the booker there too. So he was.
Yeah, Carino was the booker.
He was booking a lot of the guys too, which was good. And then
From
we
there-
became friends with Tiger Hattori, the referee.
Yeah.
That's my guy, bro. That's like he lived right by me. I used to go to dinner with that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Tiger-
gotta be crazy to watch him on TV and then have him be the guy that's just hanging out with you.
bro. It was
All I've
crazy.
heard, he's the
I went to
coolest
dinner with
guy.
him and my wife, and I brought my wife. I was like, I'm bringing my
Remember
wife.
that? I was there.
Yeah, you were there.
Is that
right?
is that when they were putting the fish scales and you didn't want to eat?
I didn't want to eat. I can't, bro. I'm malnutrition. I'm sorry, man. They eat some weird, right? So, but I'm cool with it. It's cool now. I'm a grown man. I was really young back then, anyway.
That's
And
true.
my wife is drinking wine, and she's just hanging out, kicking it. She don't realize Japanese custom. If you drink, they'll keep pouring. They'll keep pouring. They'll keep pouring. Your cup's never empty. It's crazy. Your cup is never empty. You drink and then boom. You drink and boom. There you go. They'll just sit there. And she's like, why is it not going down? And she's already. I was like,
listen,
stop drinking. That's all you gotta do.
Japanese drink way more than Mexicans. And I used to think Mexican men, because we went out to drinking with Ricky Marvin and Juventud in Tokyo, and they could drink. They got really drunk, but
they
the
cannot
Japanese,
drink Ricky Choshu.
the Japanese, yeah, Ricky Shoshu took. Man, we skipping all over the place. I'm sorry.
That's right.
We're happy to hear any stories you guys have.
So from 01, we went to World Japan. So we signed a deal with them for a year. It was a great deal, and it was through Tiger Hattori. The owners were Takao Mori, Ricky Shoshu, and Tendru, right? They were the main owners of the company.
No, it wasn't Tendru. It was this guy, Power Warrior. I forget his name again.
Kensuke
Sasaki.
Kensuke
So Kensuke Sasaki was the part owner with Ricky Choshu and Tenru. They had
we were so yeah, we got that deal through Tiger Hattori. We were in TNA at the time. We were signed to TNA. It was like we'll bench for about 3 months. No lie, they had us in the sideline. They had nothing for us, and I saw that everybody else was going to Japan. Homicide, AJ Styles, Chris Harris, and what's his name, man? Cowboy James Storm. They all started going to Japan. So when this deal came to our table, we told my writer and them to see if they'll let us go for about a month, and they told us no, that they had plans. So we waited. Then the second time came around, and me and my brother were talking, and we're like, if we go, it's the end of TNA. That's exactly what happened. We look at each other. The money was insane. I'm talking insane. I was like, damn, man. Like, I'm over here 22 years old. You know, I'm like, what do I do? So we ended up leaving. Well, by the time the first week that we left, MLW got really pissed off because we canceled shows with them, and TNA got really mad. So they sent us our releases at home by the time we got home, and that was it for TNA. That was the case. We went to Japan over TNA. Well, we ended up going to Dragon's Gate next. We ended up doing Hustle. We ended up doing a All Japan show, and then we went back to 01. So we did it. We did a lot in Japan for 9 years.
Now, what were the early TNA days like for you guys? It sounds like it was almost like for anybody, it was like kind of middle of the road. It was some exposure, but they didn't really know what to do with you. And it sounded like it was almost the springboard to your Japan career, which is where your hard fly.
I feel like I got to give more credit to Ring of Honor. I feel like Ring of Honor really put us out there, you know, which was up and coming. Which we did the first show. We actually told. I said this. I'm gonna keep saying until they come to me. The first time Ring of Honor was even announced, we were on. They did a video of us, the art video. Remember, art video used to record and record. Yep. So they used to do on the road with Super Crazy, on the road with Tajiri, on the road with whoever it was. So he wanted to do on the road with S.A.T. and do a little American tour, Puerto Rico, etc. So we did. We were like, all right, let's do it. Let's record the whole trip. Let's record on the way to the shows. They got it out. So during that trip, that's when we approached Ralph Feinstein. We're like, why don't you just start a promotion?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I don't know. I was like, dude, you know, every single wrestler, you're dealing with every single wrestler every single day, promoters, promotions, venues.
Like, ECW, the whole ECW.
Start a promotion. ECW is it's already collapsed at the time. I'm like, so why not start a promotion and see what happens? And sure enough, he was like, you know what, bro, we're starting a promotion. It's going to be called Ring of Honor. We're like, you know what, though? Don't do again, this is what we always did. Don't do what everyone else is doing. Make the canvas split like All Japan back in the days. Remember the red and blue? That was our idea. That was our gig. And I said, and don't do turnbuckles. Do the straight turnbuckles like in Japan. No one's doing that in America right now, bro. Yeah. And he was like, you know what? That's what they went with. We pretty much started the whole shit, the whole idea with it. With Ralph Feinstein. I swear, bro, this is a real story. You can ask Red, Brian Excel, they were all there. Ask Taka Michinoku if he's talked to him. It's legit. He was, good idea. Yeah, it's good stuff. and that's how Ring of Honor actually got birthed. And then we were on the first show because we knew about the first show. We knew who he was booking, he was talking to us about it for a while. And then Gabe came in, and then it was a little different story. You know what I mean? Then he kind of took over the bookings and whatever ideas he wanted to do at the time. Which they got mad at us.
You know, Ring of Honor.
Sorry,
No, go ahead, Dave.
I was just saying, it makes sense. Stand out though, like you were saying, like nobody's doing the turnbuckles like that, and I think even TNA doing the squared ring at a time. Everybody back in then was trying to stand out, and that was like the key. And I feel like that's something kind of missing a little bit now. Even though everything, like the atmosphere is good, like not everything stands out as much. You know, the promotion, yeah, right.
That's what we always like to do, bro. Like, I mean, if we booked on a promotion, it'll be so crazy because our thinking is outside the box. Hey, how you doing? It's crazy because we don't want to do what they're doing already. We want to do different things all the time. This is why Hog is doing well. Hog is doing fantastic because they're the same mentality as us. They're always trying to do different things. But this is, I mean, bro, Ring of Honor is, we love the promotion because it did a lot for a lot of guys.
Would you guys like to be on? I'm not saying Supercard of Honor, but some of the big shows Ring of Honor might be doing. Would that be?
Yeah, eventually.
Cool to see you back there.
Eventually, I mean, I think we're at the stage where we can probably go back there again and do some stuff with them.
Now, how did you guys feel this year when all the talk started with Ring of Honor saying they might be closing down? It seems really up in the air right now. As the guys that helped kind of birth them, does it hurt a little bit to see such a good promotion kind of almost go the way that everybody thought TNA would over the years?
Yeah, I got a little upset at the fact that we've been talking to them for a while, and we wanted to get in there before this all happened. And now that they said it was gonna go down the drain, I mean, it brought a lot of memories to us. I mean, Scramble Cage, all those crazy scrambles, tag team matches they put us in. That shit, is still with us. I love running matches like that. I still do. Like, I beg promoters to book us like against 3 other tag teams. You know, that's what I like it. I like the chaos.
Yeah, it's
Now-
definitely. I mean, it's pretty sick. I heard they're coming back though, right? Like
They have a show WrestleMania weekend. So.
nice. Yeah, I just think
You know what we do?
I
We
just think
beat
there's
it.
so
Out,
much.
we
There's
beat
so
it.
much.
Out, beat it out of the Briscoes next Saturday.
I mean, there's so much going on at
Those
AEW.
fellas.
You know what I mean? Like Vince signed everyone he can possibly sign at once. That was the plan, to try to get rid of the smaller companies, right?
Right.
And I feel like they felt the pressure because of the pandemic hit. They weren't able to run shows. I think Ring of Honor will roll back again as soon as
Yeah, me
everything
too.
opens back up, bro. It's just legacy. Fans are loyal. And I
Yeah.
believe that if they reopen and start doing it again, fans will flock right back.
I almost feel like there's more buzz for the company right now too. After like everybody heard this talk,
Yeah.
and you see Gresham going around defending, almost like the old school NWA title. He's going around defending these different companies. It's kind of
Yeah.
like,
Briscoes too.
yeah, right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I think that's great. Again, get back to you guys. It's great too. Now the Briscoes got this buzz. You guys got this buzz, and
Yeah, bring back the Northeast.
Now, guys, who are some of the matches you've had over the years that have stuck with you the most? Who are some of the opponents you were most excited to get in there with? Who do you think taught you the most in the ring?
Well, I got a couple of favorites. Briscoes off the top of my head. We had a match in MCW, Managed Championship Wrestling, for the Shane Shamrock Cup. Man, that match is, it's like 45 minutes of just action packed. I love wrestling them. They're like our brothers in wrestling. It's crazy with them. I also like wrestling Kaz Hayashi and Spanky in Hustle in Japan.
That was a good match.
Yeah,
That was a good
and
match.
Doi and Yoshino for Dragon's Gate.
That was a
Of
great
course,
match.
Eddie Guerrero and Red versus us. That was really
Yeah,
good.
Doi and Yoshino match in Dragon's Gate is crazy because I just came off of a broken foot, and I was really out of shape. I wasn't like heavy or anything, but I was really out of shape as far as wind, and it just felt like I couldn't run, bro. I tore my groin muscle the first night on tour in Dragon Gate, and then we had 28 consecutive days nonstop, no rest, and I finished the tour limping the whole time, bro. It was the worst pain in the world. It was disgusting. We did the forearm, right? I did the forearm powerbomb thing to the outside, and I landed on my hip, and it was
on the chair. No, you landed on the chair, and it's
terrible. First day on tour,
The
great
best
match,
part-
fantastic. That was
the
it for
best
me.
the best part is the referee. He's like, S.A.T. maybe too slow. And it's like, fuck you, man. He can't run. He can't even walk. Yeah, man.
Now, how do you do the rest of the tour when you know you have that kind of injury? Do you kind of
Me.
tailor your style to it, or do you
He's crazy. This guy.
Me. I'll take everything. I'll add him to what he needs to do, and hopefully he doesn't get hurt. He does the same for me. We did a pay-per-view for TNA. We're wrestling Unibrow Mass Striker. You guys remember him?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which that guy's no joke. He's nasty. And BJ Whitmer. And we got in the ring in TNA. The bell rang, and the referee says, "Take it home." Right off the back. So we forced ourselves to do a Spanish fly to BJ Whitmer, and I blew my knee out. That night it was a double taping. So Jose did all the work again. We wrestled the Backstreet Boys after that, and I couldn't run. I couldn't move. My knee was swollen like completely underneath my knee pad. It sucked. Then this guy gives the Sandman my wheelchair to push.
In the airport.
That's not funny, bro. Sandman was high as ass, pushing me through the airport, slamming me against shit, bro. It was not good.
Jesus.
I think we
And
were on the way
Jose-
to Detroit, right? From
No.
Tennessee, we were on the way to Detroit, and Sandman just happened to be on the flight. I was like, "Come here, come."
Oh,
can
they
you
have
push
for
him for me?
ICP.
Can
For
you push him
ICP.
for me? Like, oh yeah, brother. I was like, roll him down. He's rolling. He's being Sandman in the airport. Let's go, brother. Full speed. And Joel's going, he's gonna kill me.
Yo, I was scared for my life, Joe. I swear. I never been so scared. I never been so scared. I was like, I'm definitely gonna get surgery on this knee. This guy's gonna drop me, and he didn't. But it was scary.
And that's got to be the good thing of wrestling with your brother, knowing that if you're in the match and you're hurt, you have a guy that will no question pick it up for you. I'm sure
Yeah.
any partner would, but it's different when it's your brother. It's almost like nothing has to be said. He just sees where you're at.
Yeah,
and he
it's crazy. In
helps
Ring
out
of Honor, we
everyone.
had a match against I think it was Jay Lethal and Dragon. What's his name? Dragon, one of the Special K kids.
Oh, I'm trying to remember now.
Insane Dragon.
Oh,
Insane
okay.
Dragon. Bro, I did a
What?
drop down. Out of all the shit that we do, I did a drop down. The canvas came in at the same time, smacked my hand. I broke my hand in like 6 spots. My fingers literally turned different directions. Ooh, I grabbed my hand, I roll out of the ring, I take my wrist tape off and put it on my hand tight. So I tell Joel as he's passing by, dude, I broke my hand. His exact words was, "Stop being a pussy." I just broke my hand. Broke my hand.
I do that to him. I do that to him and Red
really,
all
bro?
the time.
I broke my hand. Like, I can't wrestle. He was like, "Nah, come on, just finish up." We finished the match.
We finished.
The next morning, we had 3 dates. So the next morning, we had another 2 shows. He was like, "Oh, we're already out here in Pennsylvania. There's a theme park, Dorney Park."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Dude, let's go to the doctor. I gotta check myself." He's like, "You're fine. Put ice."
I
Him and
took him to the Dorney Park.
Loki's in the back. He checks my hand down. Loki was like, "Yeah, it's not broken." How do you know? You're not an X-ray machine. Like, how do you know? I've seen worse. All right, I'm swimming in this theme park. I was like, it might not be broken. It might be right. I might just be a punk about it. So we're swimming, going through my day. Now my hand is a balloon.
Yeah.
Finally get home to Brooklyn on Monday. And then my wife was like, "Yeah, you going to the doctor. Look at your hand. It looks like a boxing glove."
It looks like a boxing glove.
Sure enough, guess what? Broke my hand. 6 different spots. Thanks, Joel.
Oh, man.
I wore a split.
He sent me the X-ray.
Yeah, I wore a freaking split.
I was gonna send them tickets.
I'm like, all right, I can't wrestle for 6 weeks. Because like, what are you talking about? We're booked Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I can't wrestle. I have a cast. Don't worry about it. We'll just put black tape on it. We'll work around it. Yo, dude, I didn't stop wrestling. We wrestled all the dates. I showed up to every show. They were like, "How you gonna do Spanish Fly? I got 2 arms. I'll do it with the other one." I don't know. It's crazy.
You did wrestle in a cast for a long time.
For a while.
Yeah.
Did you guys like through those injuries? You probably have to change certain things. Did you learn almost learn through the injuries, like how to work matches different ways and stuff?
Absolutely, brother.
You know it's crazy that first off, every wrestler lives on Dr. Google. Every fucking wrestler. Anything that's happening to their body, they on Google trying to search what's happening. They need surgery. It happens. So I guess we get used to thinking that we know. So we'll strap here, and it works. I mean, I've seen many wrestlers go out there like beat up, and they carry on a match, and then they can't walk, but it's crazy. They carry out the match.
Samoa Joe is one of the craziest, Joe. So I watched Joe, and Joe.
That's a machine.
But in the ring, he moves like a feather.
Yeah.
Like, holy snap! Homicide kind of does the same thing.
Yeah.
These are all beat up.
How much like Yoda?
Yeah, he is.
You see him outside, he can't hardly move, walk, and then in the ring, he's like, he's amazing.
It's crazy. I don't know what it is. It just turns on. And
it must be one of those wild things about once you know the show's on, you just do what you have to do.
Switches on. It really does.
So, let me ask you, Dave and Joe. So you guys know more about wrestling. Trust me, you know way more than me. That move 3D. Was that made by Devon and Bubba Ray? Was that created by the Dudley Boys?
First time I ever saw it was with the Dudley Boys, but it's interesting you say that because there were so many Dudley Boys in the beginning.
Yeah.
But Bubba and Devon are the ones I remember doing it now.
I feel like they almost must have gotten inspiration from somewhere because they're the first ones I saw do it, but it's like, where would they get the idea for it? Like, did they?
No. They could think of it because we look at all the shit we created. It's crazy. Like my brother created the power bomb to the knees. If you ever seen Tommaso Ciampa, and we actually pressed him on it in Long Island before he got signed a long time ago. Yeah, because my brother made that up, right? And the Beach Breaker, that's a move I made up in 96, 97. which Genki from Dragon's Gate. He started doing it, and when we went over there on tour, he was like, "I'm
He didn't
sorry,
do
I
it.
do it." Orange Cassidy, when I booked him on a couple of my shows in Rockaway, New York, and he told me that he uses my move also, which is the Beach Breaker.
Yeah.
Then the Stand Fly, of course, the washing machine. Have you ever seen that one?
Not yet. I don't think they do it much.
No, I'm saying all these creations that we made. So I believe that the Dudleys will pull off a move like that. It's just me and Mark Briscoe the other day were thinking about what tag teams really created their own moves that are like are gonna live forever. Sort of like Spanish Fly. Years from now, it's like a suplex now. You see it in every show. You see it in almost every show. You see it like 3-4 times. Spanish Fly.
Bro, we were at the GCW show.
I didn't know. We didn't know that was gonna happen. You know, we didn't know that we were gonna create something where a whole generation will use. You know, so now we're comparing what tag teams really brought it out. You know, like the Briscoe brothers, they are fucking amazing. But their finisher is a Doomsday Device, right?
Yeah.
Now, did that come from the Legion of Doom, the Doomsday Device?
I see. It's funny. So I grew up in the 80s, right? And that's that's what I remember. I remember them taking the enhancement guys, flipping them over, and
and then the Steiner brothers. You ever seen the electric chair Bulldog?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
They made that up, and then the Steiners also made up the electric chair Frankensteiner.
Right.
They really made that up.
Yeah.
So we're trying to separate.
The Frankensteiner.
Yeah, no, he made up the Frankenstein. No, well, he didn't make up the Frankenstein.
Yeah,
I think it was somebody else.
No, it's called the Frankensteiner. Like it's his name.
Yeah.
Like for real, he did it so nasty too.
It was a Rana. It was a Mexican that created it.
Hurricane Rana and Frankenstein are two different things, right? Hurricane Rana is a running Hurricane Rana, right? The Frankensteiner is a jumping catch, spikes you. And this Diesel 6'4".
When did you come up? How do you come up with these details?
This is facts, because I'm a mark of Scott Steiner. He's freaking awesome.
And he still does it to this day.
He's the man, right? So he'll jump standing. I've done it a few times. I marked out to him because I did it and marked 100 times. The jump, catch, and then go because it looks funky. Not the running flow one is nice, but it's easy.
If you watch the early Scott Steiner shit, he was doing so much crazy shit that I don't think you remember. Yeah, like he did like almost like the fall away slam like Scott Hall, but he'd do a backflip sometimes I saw him do, or he while he's still holding on to the guy.
He's a maniac. Bro, how about the suplex spike?
The pile driver.
Bro, what?
Did he make that up too?
I think so.
That's the first time I ever saw that shit.
Steiner driver, bro. SSD. That guy's a freaking innovator.
One thing I gotta ask is, do you think it's being a fan of Japanese wrestling and seeing the wild moves they do over there that kind of put the Steiners onto these devastating new moves?
You're right.
I believe so.
I believe so.
Japanese wrestling, Mexican wrestling is the flipping and the theatrics. That's what we loved about it. But Japanese is more of the clean
wrestling,
devastating wrestling moves that we didn't see in the States, because you never seen anyone besides Dr. Death dumping people on their heads or doing German suplex, dragon suplex, the little tiger suplexes, tiger bombs. What is going on? Running power bomb from Liger. That's crazy.
So it goes back to what Joe was saying, though, Jose. It goes back to now I started thinking about Benoit when he came from Japan, and Owen Hart. That style that they came with is because I guess you just without you even noticing, it just gets implanted in your head. That's what happened with us. We were watching so much Japanese wrestling, we didn't even understand it. We didn't. I hardly speak English, and I'm sitting here watching a whole full Japanese 2-hour show with my little brothers. But that guy, I guess subconsciously it goes into your brain, and then that's how we started snapping and doing shit that we wasn't seeing here with fucking Evan Courageous and them. You know what I mean? Doing that style in an American way, which is what it is now.
It's
Plus,
so
growing
funny.
up in the Northeast, we grew up on that WWE style, which is, it's a style of wrestling, but it's not as exciting as NWA wrestling. It's
Right.
not as exciting as
It's so funny because WWF was making all this money at the time, and I grew up on WWF, so it's not a knock. But like my favorite time, like some of my favorite early shit in wrestling, like I mean, not counting like when I first got in and Piper broke the coconut over Jimmy Snuka's head, but like later on, like Terry Funk, Ric Flair, 1989, like that wasn't even one of the most profitable years for them. But I love that fucking wrestling. The Steiners are starting to come up. The Road Warriors you still have.
I used to love tag team wrestling.
You're right,
Tag team wrestling
bro.
at home was crazy for us, bro. Like we thought we were the Rockers. We used to love the Rockers. We used to love the high flying shit because we were smaller guys. So we're like, that's the smaller guys. I mean, they were 6'1", but that's the smaller guys. You know, Shawn Michaels and him. We used to love Legion of Doom was crazy, bro. Seeing these guys, they were superheroes. You know, Ultimate Warrior. But once we got put on to Japanese wrestling, we're like, who? WWE who?
Right.
WWF who? Misawa. We're talking about Kobashi. We're talking about freaking what's the guy with the yellow pads? I forget his name again. No teeth. Kawada. Freaking craziness, bro. Tenru that we met, that we wrestled, like our heroes. Choshu, that was my brother's one of his heroes. He wrestled him one-on-one. This is madness. What's happening? It's not supposed to be happening, right? These are the freaking guys that shaped our careers for real. Because
I got to wrestle. Thank God. I mean, we wrestled everybody. I'm talking about everybody. You name it, we wrestled them. But in Japan, I got to wrestle Dick Togo, which is one of my idols. I got to wrestle Ricky Shoshu, which is insane. Me and my brother wrestled Kensuke Sasaki and Steve Madison from Florida. You ever heard of Steve Madison? Blue Eyes.
Name sounds familiar.
He's the indie guy for a while.
He was amazing. I mean, in Japan, he was like a superstar. The kid was 20 years old. He had like a Mike Verna body, and he was blonde, blue eyes. He was like a god over there, that kid. So they tagged him with like Kensuke Sasaki. He even won belts with them, titles over there in Japan. And and I got to wrestle, and of course Eddie Guerrero is one of our idols, and we got to open a relationship with Eddie Guerrero and Chavo and Hector and Chavo Classic. They became mentors kind of to us, you know. So I got to wrestle a lot of my idols.
Eddie Guerrero was one of the top ones. Like we became like friends. Like he wrote about us in his book.
Beginning. Yeah.
Like
in the book.
You're writing about us in your book, bro. Like that's you know what I mean? Like it's crazy. That's cool. Eddie, bro. Eddie's the man. God bless his soul. But it turned out to be crazy like that, bro. Japan was really fun. Our last tour, I think, was Toriman, right? In Japan.
Our last tour was
Toriman. We toured with
Dragon's Gate.
Sorry, Dragon's Gate. We toured with Generico at the time. Pac. The Human Tornado. Jack Evans, right? We were all there, bro. We were all there.
Those must have been some insane shows,
bro. We were lighting the house up every
That's
day,
when Human Tornado broke Jack Evans' whole face.
Last day on tour. Broke his
whole cheekbone caved in.
He had to stay in Japan. He couldn't fly.
Yeah, surgery. He stayed in Japan for like 3 months. Go.
It was bad.
That's wild.
Yeah, the shit you don't hear about, right? It's crazy. Human Tornado with a super kick. You had, Jack Evans.
Yeah.
The shit he was doing. And then all of a sudden, a super kick is what takes you out that day. What?
I remember that with RVD, like when he broke his leg. It was like on a baseball slide or something.
Oh, nasty.
Like,
Liger broke his leg. Remember when Liger did the slide and broke his leg in half?
I broke my ankle doing an Asai Moonsault against the Briscoe brothers on the MCW match. I did Asai Moonsault. I hit the guardrail, and my ankle felt like my whole leg got swollen right away. That's one of the days that Jose picked up the slack, because as soon as I slid in the ring, we were supposed to do this double team, and he was like, "Get up," and I'm like, "I can't. I think I broke my ankle." That was it. I broke my ankle. They had to cut my boot out of my leg. Yeah.
Damn. Now, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. You've been more than gracious with your time. We don't want to keep you.
I got one more question. Hold on. I just want to what are you guys most excited about? What are you most excited about coming up? And also anything you want to promote? Hit us with
That's
that.
what I was gonna ask. Tell us about the comeback tour. Let us know about GCW.
Right now, GCW. We're excited about GCW, man. GCW is doing freaking fantastic stuff. I think they're the next. They're the next up to me, you know. And
I feel like they already are. They're already that company.
Yeah, and to put us on our first match day against the Briscoe is it's really cool, you know. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to big time wrestling and wrestling the Briscoes and beating the Briscoes. So there's no freaking way we're gonna lose that match and not wrestle the Hardy Boys. They gotta really drag us out of that ring, bro.
That
and
NYWC Hall of Fame Psycho Circus is February 28th.
Yeah, the NYWC is our home. HWA, my brother is playing HWA to you guys. It was like right off the House of Hardcore closed, and then Mikey Whipwreck went with Paul Auria from ECW, the original Giant Killer.
Okay.
Yeah, he had the school in Long Island, and it was called HWA, a promotion. They used to do really, really well, and they're doing a Hall of Fame on the 28th of this month.
Dude, I'm bad at dates. I'm sorry.
26th, February 26th is the Hall of
There
Fame.
you go.
And they're putting all the HWA guys in there. Tony Nese is going to be inducted to the Hall of Fame because that's his school. He came from there. And me and my brothers, which is cool. And then we wrestling Audacity. These kids, they used to go to shows, the HWA shows about 20 years ago and watch me and my brother wrestle. And now they're going to wrestle us that day, which is a big deal for them. It's cool.
Now that's awesome. Do you guys have anything else to promote?
Yeah.
Anything you want the guys to find you on?
Jose, expect the unexpected, Jose. That promotion is going to be the deal, bro.
ETU
Wrestling. You ever heard of it? ETU Wrestling?
Is that the one you guys shared today? It's going to be on IWTV, I want to say, in the next couple of weeks?
No. That's the promotion that brought us back.
Okay.
We decided to go there for tons of reasons. You know, the publicity is it's a fresh company, and they allowed us to go in there and do what we do. You know, we had this whole Spot Monkey thing going on and with my monkey, so everything's looking great. And they gave us the opportunity to do what we wanted to do, so we went there. And now that I see where they're going with everything, wait till they announce our match. It's gonna be crazy. It's crazy.
Wait till they announce everything to go. GCW, we're gonna wrestle the Briscoes. We're gonna beat the Briscoes, and then we're gonna go for the Hate Club. We want the tag team titles there. We want the Ring of Honor tag team titles. We want the Ring of Honor triple tag team titles. We want we're just gonna clean out. We're gonna clean house. Watch out.
Well, guys, that is the perfect place to end this interview. We want the S.A.Ts to get the titles that the industry said that they never needed. These guys are over, but they deserve all the gold.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, boys, man. Y'all have us back after we win the belts.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
With my little brother Will. With my little brother Will. It'd be nice.
100%. Guys, we would love to have you
Jose,
back.
I'm a big old school Scott Steiner mark too, man. So
I love Scott Steiner. That's one of my favorites, bro. I love that guy.
Yeah. Especially the old tag version when he was doing shit. Everybody's like, what?
Bro, they didn't even know what was going on. They're like, what is happening? I know where he got it from. He's doing that Japanese stuff. I'm telling you, bro. These are the guys that shaped us. I forget. So many great wrestlers, bro, that you sometimes forget. You think of old school wrestlers, bro. You know, these guys are fantastic. Even Ted DiBiase was the man.
Oh, yeah.
And people slept. I was going over spots with my brother the other day. His placement, his footing was freaking sick. Bro. I was like, yo, this guy was the man. That's why he was there, though. And you know, at the time, most people loved the Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan. Sure. All right, the over guys, right? But these are the guys we used to watch. For some reason, we were attracted to the Bret Harts and the Owen Harts in WWE because we started to learn about real wrestling. I'm not saying the other stuff is not real wrestling, but, you know, we're marks of the art.
Yeah, when you get to see real work rate in the ring, that's what gets your heart going as a wrestling fan.
I know. And it's hard once you start wrestling and become a wrestler and you know wrestling. It's hard to watch wrestling, bro. It really is, because now you're finding yourself, instead of enjoying it, you're critiquing it and you're that sucked. Oh, that sucked. Oh, he blew that. And you're like, dude, just enjoy it. Like when we went to the GCW show, it was cool because my favorite match in the whole night was Zack Ryder. I was marking out. I was like, I think Zack Ryder is my new favorite wrestler because, bro, we've seen all they killed it. Most of the matches are crazy. They were awesome, but I just like the old school. I don't know, and we don't even do that type of shit. We do the high flying crazy shit. But
I don't do that shit no more.
Match.
Yeah.
See, I thought you were gonna say that Lucha team match was gonna be your match, but hearing Zack Ryder, that's interesting because that was just pure pro wrestling. Get the fans riled up. Go in there, give them the
story behind it. Remember the nut shot where he had his wife give him the nut shot?
Yeah.
And you thought
Joey
she turned on her
Janella goes up
husband
and then she
so
pushes
early
him
in
and he
the
takes
show.
the
paper
cup out.
nuts.
It's genius.
Yeah. And the little Easter eggs too, like Hawkins coming out, spearing, which is a callback to when Edge did that one time.
Yes.
Yeah, right. It's
Did you
like
notice his trunks?
He even wore the helmet. It's cool, man. They're really cool.
His in-ring entrance was Mikey Whipwreck's dragon shirt. You notice that?
That's
No, I did not pick up on that.
No, now you say that, yeah.
Bro, I love wrestling. His white knee pads represented Mikey's tights and the blue knee pads the way Mikey used to wear them on his shins instead of the knees. So, but he actually wore knee pads because he wears the trunks. But zoom into it. Check into his Twitter. And the Mick Foley shirt, obviously.
Yeah.
It's all Easter eggs for marks like me.
Oh yeah, and his wife had the 460, which was like Francine used to wear that.
The whole
that was cool.
Yeah.
He's on his way. I feel like this is gonna be his decade.
That attention to detail is why we're gonna have the Maximos back.
Yeah, man.
Joe,
thank you guys for having us.
Hold up, Joe and Dave. I want to ask them a question.
Sorry,
right?
we talk a lot. I'm sorry, man.
What is your favorite double team that me and my brother do, if you have one?
Ooh, favorite double team.
It's funny, like you talked
there
about.
You go.
It's not even like just a double
the DDT,
team,
right?
Well,
the DDT.
I like that. I like the. I'm always a fan of a good DDT, but you guys kind of, as far as I know, too, and it's not really just a double team, but it's like the Tower of Doom. Where everybody kind of goes out. Because that was so fucking insane. And like I remember watching that in the old school TNA days, which funny by the way, too, with the old school TNA days, I was gonna say, I know like how wild it was, but like I remember watching those pay-per-views, and then like what I loved about it, the damnedest thing, like Vader shows up one week, Dusty Rhodes shows up one week. I couldn't imagine.
Yo,
like,
I was such a mark of Vader, bro. Like my thing was always the power bomb. That's why I'm always doing power bombs and shit like that. So I'm not as big as Vader. I'm not as big as Vader or Mike Awesome, but they became my friends. So I used to just like be like learning everything from these men. Everything they spoke about made sense of why they do these moves and how they do these moves. You know. Mikey Whipwreck told me and my brother real quick. We went to do a CZW.
We talk a lot. I'm sorry.
CZW show. CZW show. We had the Briscoes because me and Red, Jose couldn't make it to the first show, so Red took his spot. So it was me and Red versus Jay and Mark.
I couldn't wrestle. I was too young.
That was the first time. That was the first time. Hold up. That was the first time we ever met the Briscoes ever, and we clicked right on. The next show, it was me and Jose, and Mikey Whipwreck said to me, he was like, "Look, all you gotta do is that clothesline that Chetty's been giving you guys in the ring. And nothing else. Just do a hard clothesline and the fans will go crazy." I did that, bro, and it worked. And he changed my whole game set. I was like, yeah, everything that I'm going to do that's powerful is going to make sense at the time that I'm going to do it, you know? And if I can do it, because sometimes, guys are in there.
Right.
Yeah.
But anyhow, brothers, have us back. I'll tell you the story of how I broke Big Togo next time. How I broke his leg.
That'll be the hook for next episode, guys. We will have you back. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
much.
Have a good night.
Yo, Joe and Dave, you guys are fucking cool, man. Thank you.
And
thank you for having us.
And if I see you guys in the live shows, we owe you shirts, so we got you, all right?
100%. We will see you then.
Peace, fellas.
Thanks,
Take
guys.
it easy, guys.